Hey everybody, and welcome to whether it be the Level Up series that you're watching this on, or that you're watching this on the Paragaming Productions channel. I'm kind of doing this as a dual video for both of my fans, and I just kind of wanted to say I am not a big fan of what video games have been doing to us lately. I feel like we are absolutely getting burned, and I am 100% sick and freaking tired of it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it and talk about that. So I feel like we are absolutely getting burned by many of the games that are out there. Now, I can tell you right now that, like, if we take a look at, EA's Battlefield 2042, you can see that this game has massively been a huge disappointment. I mean, if we take a look at what it's got on Steam, it's just not a very good game. The game has been absolutely horrendous from start to finish. I mean, I remember I pre-ordered it to be able to play the beta for 3 days, which is kind of ridiculous. A beta lasts for like a week or 2 weeks at a time to kind of play into it. I couldn't even get into the servers to begin with, let alone when I first started playing the game. The game, I was like, I mean, it's great to have like 100, what is it, like 100 and some players in the servers. Like, it's great. Like, that sounds like it's a good idea, but it just wasn't. The game had zero feel to it. It just didn't have the Battlefield feel to it like it normally did. I mean, if we take a look at some of the stories, I mean, Battlefield 2042's community-made zombies mode has actually been removed immediately from the game because it became an XP farm. It's like, yeah, okay, people are farming. There's always going to be a glitch that people find in these big online games. And I mean, if we look at it to begin with, literally one of the news stories that people are asking is Battlefield 2042 to play. Why is Battlefield 2042 so bad? I mean, there's actually stories that are coming out just days ago where Battlefield 2042 is literally, they're thinking of putting it as free to play. It's barely been out for an entire year. I don't even think it's been in a year since the game is coming up on a year in like 6 months maybe, because I'm not paying attention to its release. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the initial release. It just says 2021, and I'm not going to Google it again. But they're already thinking of putting it free to play. I mean, I paid the full $60 price, to pre-order this like a year ago, and they're already thinking of putting it free to play. Like, that's a huge disservice to a lot of people. If the game has barely been out for under a year and they're already thinking of going to free to play, they should just refund like everybody their freaking money, or at least refund half the money to them. That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, we take a look at Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red had been working on this for goodness knows how long. And I mean, here are the reviews. I mean, it had a lot of reviews that were positive right to begin with, but the most recent reviews is it basically seems like, for every 3 people that play the game, one person doesn't like the game. And I mean, that's kind of fair in and of itself, but that's a pretty big gap. I mean, it does say that it is mostly positive. 2/3 of the reviews being positive, but like Cyberpunk 2077 has been kind of a modder's paradise, to be completely honest with you. I mean, the game still is technically full price, it's still $59.99. But when modders are saving the game, I think that's kind of a disservice to the fans. That modders have to be the saving grace. I mean, I've actually downloaded quite a few mods, to be completely honest with you. And the mods have been great. I love the mods that work, and I might actually do a modding tutorial on that later on here. But I just... Oh, sorry, I gotta stretch. Oh, man, I stayed up a little too late playing Diablo last night. But I mean, like, for a game like this, where the modders, like I've been saying, have been basically saving the day, with the updates, with overhauls to the UI system, with overhaul to how the weapons and everything else kind of interact out there. I think it's just kind of crazy that they can say this is a $60 game, and they're maybe not hiring these modders to make these adjustments to the games, or even talking to these modders about what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what kind of adjustments or changes need to be made. Because I mean, you take a look at some of the mods that are out there, and I use Vortex mods, by the way. I think Vortex is the system that I use, and I go to Nexus mods. I go to Nexus mods for the mods, and then I use their system Vortex to install them. And it's like those are the biggest, best things that are out there. And I mean, even if we take a look here at just some of the I mean, the game came out in 2020. You take a look at some of the most you just Google Cyberpunk 2077 glitches, and you literally see that there are a bunch of videos that are like, oh, these are the hilarious glitches. I only ran into quite a few glitches. I mean, the game is very graphically heavy, and I have a pretty damn good system. And even when I upgraded to my really really good system now, and that I've actually been playing on the really good system now, like even still, like it's hard to hit like 60, 70 FPS. And you take a look at their suggested hardware models, and you're like, come on guys, like seriously, like this is a game that is supposed to be running really good. And I mean, it was even pulled from the PlayStation Store. Like I just can't believe that PlayStation 4 was like, no, this game sucks so bad. And it did come out for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, or whatever you want to call the newest Xbox. I think the Xbox naming needed to be adjusted. But it just really boggles my mind that it's still not optimized for the next gen systems. And I think that's just absolutely ridiculous and ludicrous. I mean, you take a look at a game like Fallout 76. You take a look at what Fallout 3 was, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4. And then you hear about Fallout 76. They're going to talk about, hey, this game is going to be, the next best generation. It's going to be a great, PvP, PvE kind of, environment where you can do a lot of co-op with a whole bunch of people. Well, it feels a lot like Destiny, where you just all load into a server, play on that server. And I mean, the game got a 5 out of 10 on INGN. It's 44% liked it on the Google reviews here, and I mean, like you can see on screen here, I'm literally just Googling Fallout 76, and you can see immediately that it says, "Is Fallout 76 good yet? Is Fallout 76 free? Is Fallout 76 a flop? How bad is Fallout 76?" They didn't even have the most notorious thing in Fallout 76. The Fallout series has NPCs for days that you can interact with, that have personality, that have just things. The story, Fallout series, if you take a look at 3, Fallout New Vegas, and 4, they are literally just story-based RPGs with a little bit of a first-person shooter element into it. It's got a decent first-person shooter element, but it also has a great story. It also is a role-playing game, and it also kind of has those, builds where you decide what kind of character you want to build. And the game is really amazing and fleshed out. And in Fallout 76, it's literally, it feels like they're just like, here you go, here's Destiny. And it's like, well, no, that's not what we wanted. We wanted a Fallout game. Like, I would have liked if they literally just did a copy paste of Fallout 4, where you could have like 3 or 4 of your buddies come into your, join into your game. I don't know, I'm forgetting some of those games where you can do not really like a Rainbow Six ish, like a Rainbow Six kind of game, or like basically kind of like a Diablo. Where you can have like 2 or 3 of your buddies log in and, play through the storyline with you. That's kind of what I would wish that they would have done. Keep that first-person shooter element. Kind of like, there you go, like Borderlands. Yeah, like a, Diablo 3, but a Borderlands-ish kind of game where you can load in and you can have a bunch of your buddies come in and help you out with the storyline. And you can either change it to be cooperative, where you guys are, getting your own loot and everything else like that, or a cooperation, where you get a certain amount of loot from people, but then you either got to share it or whatever. But like, there are ways that Fallout 76 could have been done, and maybe it's just because it's my own personal bias, that it infuriated me. It just absolutely 100% infuriated me that they did Fallout 76 so dirty. And like, the initial release was back in 2018, and they're just kind of, and even still, some of the most frequently asked questions are, is it good yet? Is it going to be free? Is it a flop? It boggles my mind that it was that bad. And I mean, if we take a look at Fallout 76, like, for some reason in November 24th of 2020, it had a huge spike of positive reviews. I don't know exactly what happened there. I'm not going to do the research. But I mean, still, the game looks like it's actually, about the same thing there. 1/3 of its reviews are still pretty negative. But Fallout 76, I don't understand it. I just don't understand how they took a game and they took a system and implemented it with, like, I think some of the changes were great in and of itself, but I don't like the twist that they put on it. So, now, the 2 final things that I want to touch on here are Grand Theft Auto, the Definitive Edition, as well as Madden 22. Now, the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition, whether it's a remake, remaster, update, or whatever you want to call it, but I mean, if you just Google here the GTA trilogy, Two of the news stories that really pop up that kind of stand out to me that are about a day old, and I know a lot of the news stories are usually a day old, but Take-Two CEO calls Grand Theft Auto Trilogy launch problems a, quote, glitch that has been, quote, resolved. And I love how they put in their quotes. Now, I know a lot of these are biased, but, it's also, great that, the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy switches, the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy on Switch cartridge reportedly doesn't have full games and requires you to download. If you can't fit the full game onto a cartridge for the Nintendo Switch, which is amazing because I've seen SD cards that are 128 gigabytes worth of data that are the size of my freaking thumbnail, and you can't fit the definitive edition on all three of them. I mean, it's insane that the definitive edition even is a thing. Because, I mean, like I said, you call it the redone or the remastered edition. It's got all the iconic games. And you know what's funny? Is that a lot of the modders that made the game, the old games, the mods were better. Like, I can't believe that a game that came out, like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, way, way back in the day, has been modded to be updated better than what the definitive edition is nowadays. Like, that's just sad. That's just hardcore sad. And, I mean, it's even got some worse graphics. It just doesn't look well. I mean, like, if you're going to redo the game and put it out as a definitive edition, update the graphics, update, everything to be modern day. Like San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 3, those games, and I think there was Vice City in there as well, too. Those games, those series, the graphics could have been easily updated. The islands that they were on were small enough to basically, like, if you were going to update everything, I mean, yeah, maybe it would have taken a little while longer, but, like, you could have easily upscaled and updated everything to the new standards for some of the even Grand Theft Auto, 5 that's out there now. You really could have totally done that, and I feel like it was just a huge crash grab. Like, I would never in 100 days, even though it's like $10 a game, I would never pay $10 a game for that. Like, I'm not even happy with Spider-Man 4's $10 a DLC, even though I bought all 3 DLCs and saved $5. I still don't even think that's worth it. Now, the last one that I want to touch on is Madden 22. The Madden series has been upsetting me for quite some time, and I refuse to buy it at full price. I mean, I think I've been getting all of the Maddens on sale for like $10 because of like the Christmas sales and all that other fun stuff that's out there. But like, if we take a look at Madden 22 right now, a lot of the new next generation features are just not even on the PlayStation. Or I'm sorry, they're not even on the PC. Like the momentum stuff, like a lot of the reasons why I actually wanted to get the PC version, they didn't have it on there. And I didn't realize until I'd been playing the game for long enough and I'd owned the game long enough. And that's one of the things that I wish that they would put on their Steam page, where it would literally be just like, hey, look, those things that you're looking for in the new features, warning, does not, like, at the very top of the page, warning, does not include this. I don't want to have to Google something. Like, I mean, the first things that you see here are Reddit posts that are talking about the next generation PC things, as well, too, as you're looking at, the people also ask, does PC Madden 22 have a momentum? Like, these are things that are just not out, like, these are things that are just not a part of the review. And it's just absolutely ridiculous that the main changes of a game are not in them. Like, it's like, great, these features that are coming out to Madden 22. Oh, by the way, PC, you're not getting any of them. And it's like, are you serious? Like, you're legitimately serious on this. The features that I want in this game are not available to me on what I play the game on. That it absolutely boggles my mind that you can release a game like this for the PC, call it the amazing next generation thing, and it doesn't even include half of that. I mean, there are so many things wrong with the Madden series, like the Madden Ultimate Team. That I don't understand that whole concept. Like, it's a cool concept to begin with. It is a cool concept. To build your team from existing players. Yeah, you can do that. It's called the fantasy draft. And like, you earn players through cards. Okay, yeah, but really, you got to grind out and do this and do that. And it's a really big grind. And like, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on the Ultimate Madden Ultimate Team guides, for beginners. And a lot of people are like, hey, do this grind, and it's grind, and it's like, dude, I don't want to have to log on every freaking day to grind this stuff out and to earn these coins and to do this and to do that. they could, and a lot of it is like, oh, you do these little skill challenges. It's like, okay, that's great, I'll do a skill challenge. But here's the problem: a lot of the Madden Ultimate Team that you do is a lot of PvP online. You know, you play against another player. I don't want to play against another player. I just want to play against a computer. I suck at online video games when it comes to these competitive things like Madden, because you know there are the people that are out there that exploit, like, oh, the cover 3-4 nickel 2. You know, it's a perfect pass defense. Or, you know, if you're going to do a perfect rush, do the blitz, you know, blitz 3-4. And people just kind of exploit these, and they run a lot of these, you know, these well-defined plays that really just kind of encapsulate just, you know, it's going to be a quick blitz, so they have to make quick decisions, but it, you know, it also covers very well, even with like a team like the Jets. And I just find that to be ludicrous. I find that to be absolutely ridiculous, where, you know, like a lot of these, you know, you see these Madden, I see these shorts all the time on Facebook or whether it be on YouTube, where, you know, it's a very lopsided score, or, you know, you watch some like I watched some YouTuber, and some of the Madden stuff that YouTubers do is just a whole nother thing. But just the microtransactions, the Madden Ultimate Team, and then the team relocation stuff. You can only relocate to so many different locations, and you only have a bunch of pre-selected jerseys, and the pre-made jerseys all freaking. You know what? I'll just say it. They all fucking suck. They 100% fucking suck. I've created better jerseys in the Madden, in the most basic. Like, I remember the very first Madden that came out that allowed you to create your own team jerseys and create your own team. I created better teams back then with better jerseys than the garbage show that is the Madden 21, Madden 22. They need to readjust how they do that. They need to bring back so many old features and just readjust and rethink everything they're doing, because it is just, I don't even know. I can't even comment on it anymore. I just cannot comment on the Madden series anymore. It boggles my mind how EA Sports has taken the Madden series and just burned it to the ground. It's infuriating how the Madden series has almost gone. It's kind of like YouTube, what YouTube has been doing here lately. And I know that these videos are on YouTube and it's a little ridiculous, but I think it's crazy because they're just like, hey, yeah, what do you guys not like? Oh, you guys really like the dislike button? Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Oh, you really like this? Let's go ahead and get rid of that. Like, come on, guys. Like, can you seriously be that bad? Are you that dense? I mean, and the Madden, it just seems to cater to a specific genre. So, I mean, in the end, am I a little biased? Am I a little upsetty spaghetti? Oh, 100% biased. You know, a lot of these new games that I've been looking forward to have been these absolute just ridiculous flops. There have been so many things wrong that, like, I'm just now like, I remember I played through Cyberpunk once. As soon as the game released, I played through it. I made it. You know, I was going to do a little bit of a series, but I ran through Cyberpunk immediately, and I did a video with a friend of mine who I really have kind of since lost contact with. You know, where we created a character. It was a little bit of a live stream that I did, and I just can't believe that I played through it immediately, and then I beat it, and then I haven't touched it since. It's not because it's not a good game. It's not because the storyline isn't a really good storyline. It's just that there was just a lack of so many things out there that just bothered me and blew my mind. So, if you want to hear more of my ranting, I'd highly encourage you to go talk to Dash. Talk to Dash and I on the Shorts and Hoodies podcast. We're the Monday show that we put out. Actually, to be honest with you, is going to be a little bit of. It's going to be a good one because it's about Sony being bought out, or Sony, you know, kind of maybe kind of needing a change of pants because Microsoft bought Activision and Blizzard. So I would highly encourage you to go ahead and watch that Monday show if you haven't. This has kind of been a cross YouTube edition where it is me on Shorts and Hoodies as well as the Parrot Gaming Productions. This is part of I think I called it Sidequests? Yeah, this is, Level Up Sidequests. So welcome to Level Up Sidequests. This is the first Level Up Sidequest video that you're going to get, where I kind of do just other things gaming related, whether it's going to be just straight up gameplay, whether it's going to be challenges that I do, just some other things that I can do besides just kind of some of the Level Up normal stuff, where I just kind of give you a fun fact about a game or a thing that people focus on a game, and I try to debunk it. If you are watching this on Parrot Gaming Productions, I would highly encourage you to go check out the Shorts and Hoodies Hoodies podcast, where we do top 10 movies and stuff. If you are on the Shorts and Hoodies, I highly encourage you to go over to My Parrot Gaming Productions. If you like my silly dumb face speaking into your headphones as well as your screen, I've got some gameplay. I do live streams over there as well too, as well as I do a bunch of stuff. So welcome to Parrot Gaming Productions, aka Level Up Sidequests, aka this is just kind of an all-encompassing rant that I just wanted to put out into the world for everybody. I've been Jared, the flock has been behind me, Helios is chucking his food, Mr. Blue Nibbles is being Mr. Blue Nibbles. We love your dumb faces, and I will see you guys on the next episodes that are out there.
Cut the check.